Jason Ticus is a Chicagoan with a passion for his city. He began experiencing the local culture and museums at a very young age. Mr. Ticus fell in love with history at a young ages and spent a great deal of time during his formative years at the Feld Museum of Natural History. Not only has he been a member of this fine institution since his childhood, but he has also enjoyed working there during his high school and college years. In addition to his commitment to the Feld, Mr. Ticus has enjoyed watching the Chicago History Museum evolve over the past several years as a member, volunteer, and big fan. He says, "Anytime I have a guest in from out of town or a free day to myself, I love returning to the museum and getting lost in the history of this great town." Whether in the exhibit halls, storage rooms, or online galleries like Chicagoology, website dedicated to celebrating Chicago through vintage images, Jason remains active in connecting the Chicago of old with residents and visitors of Chicago today. Born the cultural hub of the Midwest, Jason Ticus has spent years exploring the galleries and music venues of his hometown. Chicago is an incredible town for the arts and one for which is fantastically supportive of new talent. The art markets and festivals of Chicago have been a staple feature of the Ticus family's evenings and weekend activities since Jason was a child. Mr. Ticus's teen years were definitely defined by the art walks, gallery nights, and monthly neighborhood events around Pilsen, Hyde Park, and Wicker Park. He says, "I can honestly say that as a young person, while still not old enough to go out to bars and clubs, events like Sofa Chicago, Around the Coyote, and get-togethers at the legendary Urbis Orbis gave me a glimpse of life beyond high school, a life of vibrant, passionate people living and working to give form to their vision." It's a sentiment that hits very close to home for Jason Ticus. Chicago has an incredible creative pulse. We're a town at the center of a great number of creative threads across different industries and different media. Growing up here has been a wonderful opportunity, and to come up in this town to be part of it over the years, something I carry with me wherever I travel and expand my business. Chicago stays with you. It's my core. I love this town. Neighborhoods change and the cultural scene is constantly evolving and migrating through different formats. Events and venues come and go over the years, but the creative pulses of the city remain one of the world's finest. It's not going to always be something you read about in the weekly paper, but Chicago's finest and brightest are constantly reinventing what it means to be a modern creative in one of the world's most stimulating urban centers. These days, Jason Ticus enjoys many of the other underground cultural experiences that Chicago offers, projects that represent exactly the kind of passion Mr. Ticus feels defines this town. He spends every Saturday volunteering with the local organic co-op, Edible Alchemy, collecting produce from local farmers and delivering them by the carload to families and businesses such as Bang Bang Pie Shop and Plenty Grocery and Deli. Often we can see a love of food, work, and art intertwined. One fine example being Tuesday Night Dinner, one of the nation's most promising underground supper clubs, at which Jason is a regular guest, occasional host, and an enthusiastic supporter. The city is alive with art, both above and below ground, with projects such as Brave New Art World and Arts Unification Movement centered in the River North region of Chicago, which aims to empower artists, strengthen community, and broaden the art world. Regardless of neighborhood or venue, with creative catalysts like Brain Fame, Co-Prosperity Sphere, and CAD, Chicago Art Department, it's clear Chicago is a town as expressive and visceral as it is grounded and timeless.